Well, hello there and welcome to August. It's me, your local Luka, maybe not so local, checking in with you. Just got back from a couple of weeks away on the north coast of France. Can I say what a beautiful, beautiful place of the world to be in? In the summertime, it is exquisite and so much history and so much good food. Good food. God, you could buy raw milk at the grocery store in France. Ugh, it was terrible. We had a terrible time. Lies. Anyway, we're back. We're back on track, and it is August. And I know that in August, there is this continuation of that summer feel. I've always thought of summer as, if you think of the energetics of how things are, fall has that energetic kind of fall, yeah? Like all the leaves and everything is going into the ground and getting ready to go inwards for the winter. And winter is down here where we stoke those inner fires. And spring, you have the new growth coming out. And we feel the start of energy really starting to pick up and this desire to go outside. And when we get to summer, it kind of does this hovering thing. And it is in that hovering of energies that sort of, yeah, that like it's synonymous with hanging out in a hammock, hanging out by the beach, taking a slower pace, and enjoying the ephemera of the season, right? There's kind of this yeah, magical aspect and dreamlike aspect to summer. And I feel like we are just hitting our stride with that. And so I hope that this missive for August finds you in a lovely spot of hovering and dreaming and just feeling capacity and space around you. Yeah, I have a couple of things to cover in our newsletter this month. Let's start with a little scenario. So I want you to imagine, like, let's do a little what if here. Yeah. Okay. What if you could sail through your afternoons without having that mid-afternoon crash? You wouldn't need to rely on a coffee. You don't need to have that mid-afternoon nap. Although, if the hammock is calling and it's that hovering time of summer, I really feel like that's quite right. But if this happens persistently all the time in all seasons, what if that no longer happened? What if your frustrating histamine symptoms, that flushing, the headaches, the migraines, the reflux, the hives, the hay fever, what if some of these symptoms started to ease off? What would that feel like? What would your days be like? Here's another one. What if those perimenopause symptoms or those like, oh, is it perimenopause questions, right? With those symptoms that show up. What if those symptoms started to fade quietly into the background and really didn't feel like they were the main drivers of the engine going on? Those are just a few of the scenarios. Add your own scenario in here. Think about what is your most troublesome symptom or a thing you've got going on where you're like, geez, I really would love to resolve that. So, for me, I've had hay fever start to crop up in the last couple of days. What would it be like to not have that and have that recede in the background? Well, I really want to propose something here. I don't think this is wishful thinking. And yeah, there's a lot to be said about if we can imagine, can we build what that looks like? But when these things start to recede in the background, when those hunger things start to not rule the day, when your perimenopause symptoms are not catching you every half hour going, is this my perimenopause? Is this, right? What if when those things start to resolve, that is an indication that your metabolism is resilient, that your metabolism is flexible, that your metabolism and the inner functions of your body are tuned in. Yeah, that's what happens when this whole metabolic health piece is working. And it is exactly what we are exploring all month of August here chez Luka at GoodFood and you. So I want to talk a little bit more about metabolism. I think when we talk about metabolism, a lot of people automatically go to the calorie counting kind of thing and like energy in, energy out, and it's all about weight, but it's about so much more. That's just a tiny, small little aspect of it. Your metabolism is your body's whole energy management system. You can think of it this way. So your metabolism decides a lot of different things, and it kind of dictates a lot. It dictates your mood. It dictates how you think. It dictates how steady your mood is, actually. It dictates how well you digest. It dictates how your hormones behave. It dictates how your blood sugars are. Are you on a roller coaster of blood sugar things, or are you on a carousel? So metabolism does so much, including your energy. Metabolism is just that whole system of what comes in, broken down, plugged into recipes for the body to do a human thing. All of that depends on metabolism working well. And in a body that struggles with potential symptoms, those, all of them, I can link back to some type of metabolic dysfunction to some degree or another. So when your metabolism is working, when it is resilient, a lot of these things start to resolve. So one of the things to understand about this is that your metabolism has rhythms. So your cells, right? If we're talking right down to the cellular level, you've got these little energy. I think the common word all of us use is the powerhouse of the cell. Your mitochondria is that powerhouse of the cells. And your mitochondria, these little power plants in your cells, they actually run on a clock. When you work with that clock instead of against it, and a lot of how our current way that the systems in the world is set up, especially in the Western side of things, we are disrupting this clock, and it is having an impact on our cells, on metabolism, and on mitochondria. So a lot of what I like to do with clients is to work with that clock as opposed to against it. And here, when we start to work with the clock, we start to unlock more energy. We start to get you off of that roller coaster and get you more onto a carousel. Some of the food pieces help, sure, but the whole rhythm of it and the whole clock working with your internal clock really gets you off of that roller coaster of symptoms and gets you a lot steadier. More gentle ups and downs like a carousel, less drastic like a roller coaster, and less like breakneck speed. Yeah. So if this is resonating for you, this is a class that I'm going to be running on Wednesday, August 20th in the morning in Alberta time. So you can join us for that live if you wish. Of course, a replay is going out to everyone. I'm calling it Circadian Sync for Metabolic Health. So we're going to unpack how your daily rhythms, when you eat, how you sleep, how you move, and rest even. We're going to talk about all of these pieces as they relate to your metabolism. And we're going to set you up with a to-do to help your body thrive. So that's going to be something coming up on Wednesday, August 20th. So you can take just this class if this is something you want to explore. I'm really excited about it. It's a class I think I've had to build for a long time. So it's going to be a fun one. Okay, next up. I want to tell you a little bit of a story about somebody that I worked with recently. We're going to call her Sarah. And if you're Sarah, I'm going to flub a few of the details, but the big overarching things are going to be in your story here. She's on my newsletter, so I know she'll get this. And of course, I know your name's not Sarah. Anyway, Sarah she called on me to work one-on-one. And she said, I sort of feel like my body's stuck in first gear. I'm really exhausted all the time. I'm having a hard time. Like I'm waking up groggy. I am crashing mid-afternoon. It's just really difficult for me to see myself through the whole day. I get that wired and tired feeling at night. And she's just exhausted all the time. And this was back in the spring. And at the time, I clearly remember her saying, I'm looking at this and I've got 3 kids and they're going to be on summer holidays soon. And I'm taking the summer off. Like, how am I going to keep up with them? How am I going to be? Like, I want to be a mom that's involved. I don't want to be the mom that's always got that short fuse and kind of snapping at them and feeling like I can't participate in the summer. She was really worried that she was going to have a hard time keeping up with her kids over the course of the summer. So on top of this, I had question marks in the notes of like, does she have histamine things? She had itchy skin on occasion, and she had welts developing just under her bra on days where she was really exhausted. And if she did some physical activity, because we're supposed to be active and do all these things because that's going to help your energy. But when she would get physically active, she'd get welts developing under her bra line where there was pressure from the bra. She also had migraines, came out of nowhere, and her energy was pretty low, as I mentioned before. And I don't always go to energy and perhaps mitochondrial stuff, but really in that moment when I realized she had hives under her bra when she went to go work out, I was like, oh, honey, I think you have some histamine stuff going on. So, and of course, she's in her 40s. So she's like, is this perimenopause? Is this like, what is going on? And granted, it's always hard to know. Is it perimenopause? Is it histamine? Is it a thyroid thing? Is it your adrenals tuckered out? Could it be a little bit of all of them? Maybe. Do you know what actually is common amongst all of those is metabolic health? If we look after your metabolic health, we can resolve thyroid, adrenals, blood sugar things, metabolic stuff, like histamine stuff, potentially, lots of things. So when we first started, she's like, I really feel like I'm broken. But we looked closer. We really took a deep dive into her metabolism. And it was really clear to me, and hopefully now to her too, that her metabolism actually was not broken. It was doing exactly what it needed or what it thought it needed to do in order to help her survive. It had lost some of its flexibility. And it was trying to always play catch up. It was like if you're burning a fire of twigs. If you ever you've tried to start a campfire with twigs, if you're only going to burn twigs, you're going to be replenishing that little fire all day long. Your goal with a fire is, yeah, you can start with twigs, but you need to move up to logs. And you want to have logs on the fire because you don't have to replenish them. Then you could take a bit of a rest. You don't always have to be tending and stoking that fire because the logs will help extend that capacity for energy. So a lot of what we did, see you later. A lot of what we did, we worked on syncing her daily rhythms with her metabolism. We talked about nourishing not just her mitochondria for the energy piece, but her adrenals, her thyroid. We did some food pieces to help balance blood sugars as well. And here's the lovely part about this. We started this back in the spring, and we just had an appointment just before I went on holidays. Her afternoon crashes slowly disappeared over the spring. Her histamine symptoms are not as forefront as they used to be. She said that she was just starting summer right when we were leaving for our holidays. She felt really quite adept and able to be hanging out with her kids and to see the whole day through without having to count on naps or cups of coffee to get her through. So she was already, we started when? End of March, I think. So we were about 3 months in, and she was already starting to feel that kind of transformation. And that's a lot of what I love to do with clients, what I love to do with food, what I love to do beyond food. It's the kind of slow and gentle transformation that is not, it's not, it's not sexy and it's not way out in the open, and you don't feel great 3 days in. But over the course of these slow and manageable small things you do on a daily basis, you can start to shift this whole metabolic system going on behind the scenes. And a part of that is to stop blaming your body. Stop the war talk with your body. Dismantle the war talk and start working with your body. Start giving her the inputs, the information, the details, the fuel it takes for her to function well over the course of the day. So thank you to Sarah for sharing her story with me. That is the kind of shift that I look to achieve for clients. Like that's the kind of work that we're always aiming for. And there's a bit of back and forth and 2 steps front, 1 step back with clients and communication back and forth. But that's the kind of work that I love to do. And that totally, when we had our meeting just before, I thought, oh my gosh, this is like, what do they call it? Perfect avatar, which is the marketing name. But like, that's exactly the story of the person that I help. That's exactly who I'm helping. Somebody who's really feeling burnt out, kind of petered out, or mood stuff, or really finding it difficult to move through the day. And sometimes histamine issues thrown in for good measure, and then helping them reset that rhythm so that their body can function a lot better. And that whole clock piece to it is, yeah, circadian rhythm piece to this is kind of huge. So now that you've heard Sarah, was it Sarah, Jennifer? I can't remember what I called her. Anyway, now that you've heard her story, I want you to do a little check-in for yourself. So, do you find yourself crashing in the early afternoon? Do you need caffeine to get you through the rest of the day? Are you somebody who gets hangry or shaky if you miss a meal? We were just on holidays for the last 10 days, and if we didn't, dinner in France happens after 7:30. And we usually eat supper around 6:30. And it was really remarkable to me pushing back the dinner an hour. It took me about 5 days to finally get around to being okay with it. But anyway, yeah. Do you get hangry or do you get shaky if you miss a meal? Do you have histamine symptoms? You name it. The big ones are eczema, hay fever, migraines, acid reflux, hives. I said hay fever already. There's a lot of them. Are they popping up more often than you would like? Or here's another big one. Are you midlife-ish? And are you feeling like everything is all of a sudden catching up with you, where like it was all fine before, and now why all of a sudden is all of the things wrong? Or do you feel like your body is not as resilient as it used to be? Well, if you've said yes to any of these, it could very well be that your metabolism is crying out for a reset. Yeah. It's not, your metabolism isn't broken, your body isn't broken. It's just that you are adapting to the inputs that are going into your system, and your body's asking for something different. Or it's letting you know that the inputs and the way that you're moving through your days is not working for the system, the metabolic system. So I put together a short video to help you figure this piece out. Is your metabolism actually broken, or is it just asking for a reset? So I've left a link below. That's going to be your link number 1. So you're going to be able to find that just below. Okay, that's one piece I wanted to talk about. But I want to talk about something to go even deeper. So if you have found yourself, oh my gosh, that's me, Luka, then I need you to know that this is what we're doing inside the Good Food Network for the entire month of August. We're doing all about metabolism. And the network is my membership site. I hate that name, but that's what it is. It's like a one-stop shop that has some pieces that you can tailor and build to be what it is you need. We take these big concepts like metabolism for the month of August, and then we turn them into practical things. And this month, we're doing the second part of metabolism. We started in July. But in August, we're going to be unpacking how your mitochondria drive energy and how to feed them. We're going to be talking about that connection between gut health and metabolism and why it's such an important foundation. We're going to be talking about blood sugar balancing and ways to do it that actually work in real life. Yeah. We're also going to be aiming for more true metabolic flexibility. That's the way that I like to coin it. But here's the deal. When you have true metabolic flexibility, your body can handle life's ups and downs with a bit more ease. So these are context, topics or ideas that interest you and something that you might like to explore. I want you to know this. It's not just information. Yeah, I provide lots of information, but the Good Food Network is where we also talk about solutions, where you can also ask questions to whatever it is you've got going on. You can try out new ideas and get some support while you're making some of these changes. So if you are tired of just trying to piece things together on your own, the Good Food Network is where you want to be. That is going to be one of the links below. So I want to go through what you're going to find in the links below before I let you go. So if you've had at any point in today's video a little bit of a aha kind of idea, I want you to come and join me. I've got 3 links below. The first one is for a short video called Is Your Metabolism Broken, or is it just asking for a reset? This is a short clip from a class that we actually did in the network back in July last month. It is the SOS Metabolism class. And it's kind of the introductory piece to metabolism. It's a really great place to start. It's got a season's worth of work woven into the class with a worksheet and recipes and stuff. And it's the kind of thing that you can put in place for yourself. So it's totally accessible. I think the price tag is $30. As soon as you purchase, you can access it right away. You can come back to it as often as you like. That is going to be link number 1 below to the short clip. So again, is your metabolism broken, or is it just asking for a reset? So check out link below if that's a piece you want, if that's one of the questions you want to answer. Now, the second link below is for a live class I'm going to be doing on August 20th. Yes, the replay goes out to everybody who registers. So this class is called Circadian Sync for Metabolic Health. We're going to be breaking down how to align your rhythms with your body's energy needs. And what is all the fuss here about circadian rhythm and how do you work it? This is going to be a live one, of course. This is going to be your link number 2. So you can register for that class by itself. Circadian Sync for Metabolic Health. That's link number 2. I'll tell you though, that class will live in the GoodFood Network as well. And the GoodFood Network has other pieces in addition to that live class. But if you just want that live class, oh, please just take the live class. But if you really want to transform how you feel, you want to explore that GoodFood Network. This is where we work on creating lasting change. You can take things at your own pace, come and go as you please. There's some live stuff, there's pre-recorded stuff, there's printables and recipes. It's a subscription kind of service. This is going to be your link number 3 just below. So link number 1 is to figure out if your metabolism is broken or not. Link number 2 is for that class we're doing on August 20th, Circadian Sync for Metabolic Health. And the third one is for the GoodFood Network. So I want you to know this. You do not have to figure out any of this on your own. I know I've heard from quite a few people, interestingly enough, who are like, well, I'm using ChatGPT. Can I check with you to see if what ChatGPT is telling me to do is right? You know, ChatGPT is a machine that's really just gleaning the information that is not behind paywalls, yeah? It's all the free stuff it's finding, and it's piecing it together in ways that it thinks you want to hear. Is it true? I had a client, potential client, reach out and she said, well, ChatGPT has me eating 1 gram of protein a day. I think it's trying to starve me. To which I thought, okay, well, I don't know that that's going to help you. So anyway, I'm just here to tell you that when you come into the GoodFood Network, you're coming to meet with me, and I'm the one putting together the content, and it's content based in science, and my specialty is putting a practical approach to it and a spin to try to understand it make sense, demystify some of the biochemistry of how it works in the body and what it takes to support it well. So come and join me. You do not have to figure this out alone. Your body is not broken. With the right supports, I really think our bodies can thrive. Yes. So hope to see you around. If you have any questions, I invite you to put them in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you and crossing paths with you wherever you are in the world. May there be a hammock or a beach with your name on it. Look forward to crossing paths. Salut! À bientôt!